Pisgah National Forest in the southern Appalachian Mountains provides the North Carolina high country with some of the most pristine views in the eastern United States. From Grandfather Mountain to the town of Blowing Rock, and from anywhere along the Blue Ridge Parkway, one can experience close to the very same views that drew early settlers to this area originally. This region, home to many of us, is a travel destination to millions of Americans every year who yearn to experience natural beauty seldom found anywhere else. Increasingly, high country communities such as Boone and Blowing Rock have grown to depend upon the tourism revenue that these scenic forests provide. In 2007 alone, over $300 million of tourism revenue and some 4,000 jobs came to our region as a result. In the future, as population and development increase across the eastern U.S., unspoiled views like ours will become ever more valuable and unique. However, without a congressional act to protect these national forests with a scenic designation, they will always be open to the short-term logging initiatives of the National Forest Service. In order to protect the business interests of the high country region and to secure an economically sustainable future, citizens and public officials have organized a plan to forever preserve our region's most valuable economic asset.
Well, as an economist, I see it as an investment. It's a long-run investment that has benefits now and every year into the future. We know from previous research studies that many visitors come to Western North Carolina exclusively to see the views. Investing in the maintenance of the scenic quality of this area, that is going to help your region be so-called recession-proof, an insurance policy, if you will, for the local economy.
So today we're going to get down into the Globe Forest. That's just directly south of us right now for a short hike to go see Thunderhole Falls. It's a relatively flat hike, somewhere between 1.5 to 3 miles round trip. 2 years ago, Forest Service proposed a 230-acre logging project right where we are, and the town of Blowing Rock, the town council, drafted a resolution opposing this logging project, but then also said, we've gone through this before. We've seen this 20 years ago. They did the same thing out here. They devastated the landscape with their logging projects, and they said, what can we do for a permanent solution? What can we do so that we don't have to fight this battle every 5-10 years? We're now working to build awareness, interest, and support for a Grandfather National Scenic Area. Folks like you coming out here and seeing this forest, there's a lot of business support because they see it as a way of branding an area and driving more tourism and more dollars and jobs to the region.
We're here today to talk about GNSA and a formal designation so that that whole globe area out there, the scenic basin, can be preserved forever. The Blowing Rock Town Council, in a unanimous resolution, has called for a scenic designation. The Boone Town Council and the Watauga County Commissioners called for a similar resolution. That decision is right now hanging in the balance. And today, we are looking with great hope of having a Grandfather National Scenic Area designation introduced to our Congress. That designation would preserve 25,500 acres of ever being logged the way they are threatening to do it now.
I'm a building contractor. We build timber frame homes and we build log homes. The southern forests are the most productive forests in the country. There's paper companies, lumber companies, and national forests throughout the southeast that are logged for good reason and for need. But this is land that shouldn't be harvested. There are some parts of our region that are important to save, and the scenic area is one of those. Well, the highest and best use of this property right off the Blue Ridge Parkway, right below Grandfather Mountain, is not logging. The highest and best use of this property is for hiking, backpacking, fishing, mountain biking, and should be preserved for years to come for public use.
I think it's fair to say that our areas that we have now locally in the Blowing Rock, Boone, Linville area are used pretty heavily. And so I think if it does get designated as a wild and scenic area, we would see some of that disperse into the Globe Valley, into that scenic area. It'll open up funding for hiking trails, fishing trails, mountain biking areas will open up. And that's huge to the economy too, because in all honesty, it brings the type tourism that we would like to see come through this whole demographic area. And these people come up, they stay for 2 or 3 days, and as opposed to what I would call some day trippers sometimes that are just popping up for the day and going back in the afternoon, so to speak.
You just sort of fall in love with 1 or 2 places in the world, and this is one of them. I'm working on a book on nature photography at the Grandfather Mountain area. The Grandfather National Scenic Area proposal would protect all the things that make me want to come here. And I drive 8 hours from Pittsburgh 6-7 times a year. The reason I want to capture this area is because there's so many things in one place that you don't find anywhere else. You've got the mountains, you've got rare and endangered species, you've got light that photographers crave. These views are everything to landscape photography in particular around here. You couldn't just pick up a camera and go anywhere to get these. This is the place where it happens. Well, I hope the photographs of mine will help convey what it is that makes this place different from anywhere else in the world.
A lot of the employees that I have here at this resort could go and make more money elsewhere. And they know it, and I know it, and we talk about it. But they stay here because of the quality of life that is here. It's because of these woods that surround us and the clean air and the streams and the hiking and the biking and all the things that are natural to life here. We're not in Virginia Beach, we're not in Nag's Head or Kitty Hawk or wherever. We're someplace special in the mountains. We need to preserve it that way. And the generations that follow us will know that we've done good work by what's left behind, or they'll know we weren't good stewards of what God gave us. And it's time for us to step up to the plate on this one, because economically it can make sense for everybody involved, and it protects what's really here, and it has an impact on our future generations. And I want to be a part of that so that my kids still have that to look at in the future.